So Ben, talk about how this is a fantasy adventure for the whole family.
Well, this film is set in this unbelievably magical and exciting fantasy world conjured from Joseph Delaney's book series and from the imagination of our director, Sergei Bodrov, who wanted it to have this very mysterious international feel. He kind of came up with a lot of the villains and the warlocks himself in the story, and so we have that kind of very traditional baseline story of boy to man, zero to hero, pig farmer to warrior, in terms of the protagonist, and then this kind of bizarre world through which he has to navigate, pulled and mentored by this very curmudgeonly, drunken, fantastic character of Master Gregory, played by Jeff Bridges, and we have to fight against Mother Malkin, played by Julianne Moore, as a very glamorous, powerful witch who's conjuring the forces of the dark, and every day their powers are growing stronger by the light of the blood moon.
Wow. Talk about having the opportunity to work with Julianne Moore and Jeff Bridges.
I mean, Jeff Bridges was the reason I wanted to do this film in the first place, almost entirely, because I have watched him in countless films, but some of my favourites being The Fabulous Baker Boys and The Big Lebowski, and obviously with Julianne in as well. This is them reuniting again since then. And they both they have such charm, real charm, in terms of when they talk to you, you feel like the only person in the room. They're so generous in terms of their advice and their just their kind of, they're so at ease with themselves and so at ease in the world, and yet their work is so important to them that that's something that I would sort of aspire to be like, really.
Now, you get to tussle with some really interesting creatures in this film. Can you tell us about them?
Well, in the books, I mean, I think our first draft of the script, it was sort of mostly about witch hunting, in terms of killing witches. But then, you look at the books and you expand it to the boggarts and the ghosts and the ghasts and the ghouls and all the different types of villainous, anthropomorphic kind of warlocks and witches that you encounter in the story. It's a very kind of world. It's very dense with different types of creatures of the dark, and there's a sort of interesting moment where I say, so what exactly do we do as spooks? What's our job? I think it's just to kill witches, whereas actually there's a lovely phrase which is, our job is to tend to the creatures of the dark, to tend to the dark side, to keep them at bay when necessary, kill them when necessary, help them when necessary, perhaps, show them the error of their ways. And so it's this kind of nice, it's got this nice sort of balance to it. It's not always about swinging a sword. Sometimes it's about, throwing salt and iron or showing them who they really are using Silverbane or whatever it might be. So there's this kind of magic element to it, this sort of apothecary element to it as well, which I think is cool. There's a guidebook actually to all the creatures in this world, which Jeff gave me a copy of when we started, which I thought was a very kind of mentor-y thing to do.